This is video on standing waves. In this video, I will talk about what is a wave, what is standing wave, how to generate standing waves in string and resonance tube. Finally, I will summarize this video. A wave is a traveling disturbance, and a sound wave is traveling pressure disturbance, and a light wave is traveling electric and magnetic field. Something which is a disturbance will show variation in space. Suppose if this is the variation at time t0, and if at a later time t1 greater than t0, the variation has to move to this position, such a traveling disturbance is called wave. Suppose if this is variation of pressure, then this is a sound wave. Something which is not a disturbance will not show any variation. An example from everyday experience of a wave is a stone dropped on the surface of a water which is still initially. So as soon as this stone hits this water surface, it will generate ripples, and the ripples will move outwards in this direction. So this is an example of a wave. The general form of a wave is f of ax minus bt, where x is the space coordinate and t is time. A and b are real numbers. Since the wave function is function of both x and t, there will be periodicity associated with the space coordinate x and also periodicity associated with time t. Periodicity associated with x is called the wavelength of the wave, which is denoted by symbol lambda. So f of a into x plus lambda minus bt should be same as f of ax minus bt, as lambda is the space period. Similarly, the time period capital T, f of ax minus b into t plus capital T should be same as f of ax minus bt, and the reciprocal of this time period capital T is the frequency of the wave mu. Velocity of the wave is velocity of any given point in the wave, and a given point in the wave is characterized by its argument ax minus bt being constant. So differentiating this thing, both the sides we get a dx minus b dt equal to 0. So dx by dt should be b by a. So from this we get the velocity of wave as b by a. This is sign variation at time t0 in space, and suppose at a later time t1 greater than t0, this variation has moved towards right. Such a traveling sign variation is a sine wave. One way of generating standing wave is to have two sine waves traveling in opposite directions. So here we have two sine waves y1 and y2. These two sine waves are exactly same. They have the same amplitude and frequency. The only difference is they are traveling in opposite directions. And this is the situation at time t0, where these two waves are in phase. At a later time t1 greater than t0, y1 has moved towards right and y2 has moved towards left. So the y1 will have a negative value at x equal to 0, and y2 will have a positive value at x equal to 0. But the sum of these two waves, which is y1 plus y2, the resultant wave is y1 plus y2 according to superposition principle. So the resultant will still be 0 at x equal to 0. So the resultant wave yr is y1 plus y2 according to superposition principle. So time t equal to 0, both these component waves are in phase, so y1 and y2 are on top of each other. So they will combine to give a resultant wave like this. And at a later time, y1 has moved towards right and y2 towards left. So y1 takes a negative value at x equal to 0 and y2 takes a positive value at x equal to 0. But these two will add up to give a 0 value at x equal to 0. The maximum value is reduced a little bit because the individual waves are slightly out of phase. At t equal to 0 they are in phase, so they will add to give a maximum. At a later time they are slightly out of phase, so the amplitude has decreased. But the location of the phases where it has become 0, they are still 0, because if one of the waves become positive, the other one become negative. Here the red one has become positive, blue has become negative. Here red has become negative and blue has become positive. So they will have to give 0 where they were 0 initially. and also the location of the maximum, which is in between the two zeros, is also unchanged. And still later time, the component waves y1 and y2 are completely out of phase, so they will have to give a zero resultant. And still later time, they will combine to give negative value. YR has got negative amplitude here. Initially, YR is positive maximum, and then less positive, and then 0, and then negative, and still later time it has become negative maximum, and after that less negative, and then 0, and then positive, and then positive maximum. So we will keep on repeating. So to summarize, the standing wave will look like this. At initial time t0, where the component waves are in phase, the amplitude will be maximum and the variation will be like this. At a later time t1 greater than t0, they are slightly out of phase, so the amplitude has got reduced, and still later time they are completely out of phase, so the resultant is 0, and still later time they will combine to give negative amplitude, and after that negative maximum, and after that negative, and then 0, and then positive maximum. So this will keep on repeating. But the location of the nodes where the amplitude is 0, and the location of the anti-nodes, which is in between two nodes where the amplitude is maximum, that location in space will not change. So in some sense, it's not strictly a wave, in a sense nothing is traveling in space, but this sort of variation will keep happening with time. So this is like a standing wave. Now let us see how to generate standing wave in a string. This is a string of length L, which is fixed at two ends. So since the string is fixed at two ends, the string element attached to this end points will not move as they are fixed. So when you try to excite this string, the minimum frequency that can get excited will look like this. There are nodes at both the ends, and there is an antinode in the middle. And still higher frequency will have a node in the middle, and still higher frequency have two nodes, and still higher frequency have three nodes. But all the frequencies which are getting excited will have a boundary condition that the endpoints are nodes. That's because the ends are fixed. And in general, for n equal to n, there will be, for n equal to 4 we have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. For n equal to n we have n loops. So this variation from 0 to 0 of a sine wave corresponds to half the wavelength. So half wavelength equal to the length of the string L. This corresponds to full sine wave of length, the wavelength. So here lambda equal to the length of the string, and one loop corresponds to half wavelength, 0 to 0, and this 0 to 0 is also half wavelength, and this also half wavelength. So there are three loops here. So 3 times half wavelength is the length of the string, and here 4 times half wavelength is length of the string. And for n equal to n, there will be n loops. So n times half wavelength should be L. So from there we get lambda n as 2 by n into L. So the frequency for n equal to n will be velocity divided by the wavelength, that is v divided by 2L by n. So that is n into v by 2L, where v is the velocity of the wave in the string, which is not going to change because of the frequency, and length of the string, that's also not going to change. So the frequency is proportional to the n. So the fundamental frequency is f1, the next higher frequency will be twice the fundamental frequency, and the next higher frequency will be 3 times the fundamental frequency, and so on. Organ pipe is a hollow tube which has got air, and if one end of the tube is closed, it's called resonance tube, which is closed at one end. So the air within this tube can be excited using a tuning fork of appropriate frequency. Since this one end of the tube is closed, the air molecules close to this wall will not vibrate, and the vibration will be maximum at the open end. So the boundary condition will be like there should be a node at this closed end, and there should be an antinode where the vibration is maximum at the open end. The minimum frequency that can get excited in this resonance tube, which is closed at one end, will look like this, where there is a node at the closed end and antinode at the open end, and the next higher frequency will have one node inside, and the next higher frequency will have two nodes, and the next higher frequency will have 3 nodes inside. So the variation 0 to maximum of a sine wave corresponds to 1/4 of the wavelength. So here lambda by 4 is L, and the variation 0 to 0 of a sine corresponds to half wavelength. So this is half wavelength and this is quarter wavelength. So lambda by 2 plus lambda by 4 is L. One loop corresponds to half wavelength, so 2 loops and then one half loop. So twice lambda by 2 plus lambda by 4 is L. And here 1, 2, 3, 3 loops, so 3 times lambda by 2 plus lambda by 4 is L. So from this we get lambda 1 as 4L, where is the length of the tube, and lambda 2 as 4L by 3, and lambda 3 is 4L by 5, and lambda 4 as 4L by 7. And frequency is goes inversely as the wavelength, and is velocity by wavelength. So frequency F1 is V by 4L, F2 is 3V by 4L, and F3 is 5V by 4L, and so on. So the ratio of the frequencies is 1:3:5. If F1 is the fundamental frequency, the next higher frequency will be 3 times that, and the next higher frequency will be 5 times the fundamental. If you have a resonance tube which is open at both the ends, then the boundary condition is there will be antinode at both the ends, and there will be a node in the middle for the minimum frequency. So the minimum frequency resonance structure will look like this: antinodes at both the ends, and there is a node inside. And the next higher frequency will have one more node, and the next higher frequency will have 2 more nodes, and the next higher frequency will have 3 more nodes compared to the fundamental. So inside, the variation from maximum positive to the minimum in the negative is half wavelength. So lambda by 2 is L. Here there is one loop and half loop and half loop. So one loop corresponds to lambda by 2, and this is 1 over lambda by 2. So twice lambda by 2 is L. Here there are 3 loops, 1, 2, and then third is half loop here, half loop here. So 3 times lambda by 2 is L. And here we have 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth loop is half here and half here. So 4 times lambda by 2 is L. So from this we get lambda 1 as 2L, lambda 2L, lambda 3 is 2L by 3, lambda 4 is half L. And the frequency is velocity by the lambda. So V by 2L fundamental, and the next higher frequency is V by L, and F3 is 3V by 2L, and F4 is 2V by L. So the ratio of frequencies is 1:2:3. If F1 is the fundamental, the next higher frequency is twice of that, and the next higher frequency is 3 times the fundamental. To summarize, wave is a traveling disturbance, and the general form of the wave is f of Ax minus Bt. So it is function of both space and time, and A and B are real numbers, and the velocity of the wave is the velocity of any given point in the wave, which is characterized by the argument being constant. So you get the velocity of wave as B by E. If you have two waves, they will superpose to give the resultant as y1 plus y2. This is according to superposition principle. One wave generating standing waves is to have two sine waves traveling in opposite directions. They have the same amplitude and frequency. The standing waves generated in a string will have frequency as n times v by 2l, and the fundamental frequency is v by 2l, and the next higher frequency will be twice of that, and the next higher frequency will be thrice of the fundamental. In an orbit by closed binding, the fundamental frequency is v by 4l, where v is the velocity of the sound in the air which is filling the tube, and l is the length of the tube. So the next higher frequency will be thrice the fundamental, and the next higher will be 5 times the fundamental. In an orbit open at both ends, the fundamental frequency is v by 4l, and the frequencies will go in ratio 1:2:3.